to tonight. We're going through that awkward moment where we're connecting with all of the different platforms. So it seems like we connect earliest with Zoom and Facebook, and then it takes a moment to connect to the other sites that will be that we have other people joining us on. So I'm glad you're here. This is the third installment. It's the third installment of the Holiday DIY series, and tonight I am excited because I'm gonna take you through 3 recipes tonight because they are just exceedingly easy, and they target a specific person on your holiday list that is sometimes a little bit trickier to find just the right thing for, and that's a lot of the guys on our list. So I know in particular stocking stuffers, there's only so many socks and underwear you can add to the stocking, right? If you're looking for something that has a little bit more of a health focus, maybe you have a young man in your life, like I have a 14-year-old son, and I would love to introduce him to some healthier options as opposed to going down the road of using things like Axe body spray or colognes and things of that nature. So tonight I'm going to walk you through 3 recipes that are designed to target our male audience, any of the guys on your holiday list, but they're not exclusive to the guys on your list. Ladies, if you really pay attention to the oils that I'm going to use in all 3 of these recipes, you'll be thinking to yourself, especially if you're an oil user like myself, you'll be thinking, that sounds amazing. That sounds like something that I would use for myself. And I'm in the same boat with you. There really is no differentiation between the oils that I would use and any of the men in my life would use. But you decide for yourself who these recipes are best suited to. The goal in sharing these past 3 weeks has been to offer you just a few thought-provoking recipes, ideas that would get your mind wrapped around what it would be like to create some of your holiday gifts from scratch. A lot of times you have most of these ingredients around your home. So it keeps the cost down, one, it keeps the convenience factor very high. You keep the thoughtfulness very high and the quality through the roof because we're using our doTERRA essential oils. So let's get into this tonight, and then you'll have 3 great recipes that you can reference for any of the men in your life. I'm going to start with a roller blend. It doesn't really have a special name. It's just roller blend for men. And ladies, like I said, pay attention to these oils because they too are something that I know so many of you will enjoy. So I'm a big fan of making sure that I have all of my supplies out and ready to go for when I start creating anything, whether it be in the kitchen or whether it be personal care products. It's always great to have everything in one location. So we're hanging out in my kitchen right now. I've got all of the supplies I need in front of me, which seems really minimal, right? We've got our oils and we've got a few key ingredients. This is the beauty of this. It's so stinking simple. I swear you probably have this stuff in your home already, especially if you're an oils user. So let's get into this men's blend. I'm going to make it in a roller bottle because the idea behind this one is it's going to be diluted with fractionated coconut oil. If you're not familiar with that carrier oil, let me just tell you that that is something that is really well received by the skin, something that absorbs very efficiently, something that supports the oils being absorbed into the skin in a very safe and much slower manner. It also feels great. It doesn't leave an oily residue behind. That's the primary reason I like to use fractionated coconut oil, is that it does what it's meant to do and it doesn't leave anything sort of greasy or slick behind. So if you've got fractionated coconut oil, you'll certainly want to use it for this recipe. And if you don't, you can give some consideration to other carrier oils such as jojoba oil, avocado oil. What's another one? I've played around with rosehip oil. You can experiment, right? These recipes are not so rigid that you can't play around a little bit with them, but the end goal is that you're always using a high quality, preferably an organic carrier oil. And for some of them, you'll want to look for the label that says cold pressed. That's something for things like castor oil as an example. That's a little bit thicker, may not want it for this kind of recipe, but a carrier oil nonetheless, and something that you can think about, particularly for drier skin. Okay, so there's a lot of options out there. We're gonna start with frankincense in this men's roller blend. And this actually calls for 2 or 3 drops of each of the following oils. So we're gonna start with, and you can write this down if you wish to. I'll also be posting this on Facebook and Instagram. We're starting with 2 drops of frankincense, 1, 2. Frankincense is actually a gift this month with doTERRA, which is really terrific. You can get frankincense for free, if you didn't already know this, when you make a 200 PV purchase. So whether you're new to oils or whether you already have a doTERRA account, don't forget that you can get that for free. It's one of our high priced items, high value items at the same time. And it is a promotion that most of the people in my network really look forward to every single year. The king of oils. The next essential oil that we'll add to the men's blend is cedarwood. And we're going to go with 3 drops of that one. So 2 drops frankincense, 3 drops cedarwood. 1, 2, 3. One thing you'll notice when you start working with essential oils is that they all behave a little bit differently. And what I mean by that is you'll notice some of them come out of their bottle very, very quickly. They seem to be much more liquid. They have a quicker movement to them. Whereas some of them, like vetiver as an example, I've had people reach out and say, I think my bottle's broken, because it's so hard to even get one single drop out of the bottle because of the slow movement of the oil. And that's just, the consistency is different for all of them. So that's something that is unique to each oil and something that you certainly get used to the more you work with them. The next oil I'm using in this awesome blend, I can smell this already. Oh my goodness, this is lovely. We're going to go with 3 drops of Siberian fir. 1, 2, 3. Right away, I hope that you're picking up on the idea that this is going to be, aromatically speaking, a very grounding essential oil blend. Next, we're moving into patchouli, one of my very favorites. I find patchouli such a curious essential oil because it's both earthy as well as sweet. It's phenomenal. So we're going to go with 2, if I didn't say 2 already. 2 drops of patchouli. See, this one's moving a little slower. 1, 2. It's very amber in color. It's beautiful. 2 drops of patchouli, and last but not least, 2 drops of sandalwood. For those of you who know sandalwood, I'm sure you're starting to imagine what this men's blend is smelling like already. And I'll tell you, it is divine, friends. It smells so good. This is an excellent gift. I know I said it's a men's roller, but if someone were to gift this to me, I would be thrilled. And again, we've reached one of the oils that has a real slow movement to it, sandalwood. 1, 2. I know you're not able to see that, but you can definitely tell how long it's taking for 2 drops to come out of this bottle. So just be aware that that is a thing when you're working with the oils. Okay, 2 drops. Last but not least, we're going to top that up. This is how simple it is. You use oils and a carrier oil. We're going to move over to our fractionated coconut oil that we've already talked about, and we're going to fill that roller bottle almost to the top. We're going to leave enough room for the plunger. We don't want to squish it out of the neck of the bottle, so I'm going to be very mindful of that. And this already, I haven't even shaken this or rolled it on my skin, but already I can have you imagining its earthy quality. You've got your frankincense, cedarwood, Siberian fir, patchouli, and sandalwood. So even if you're familiar with any one of those essential oils, you can get a sense for what this is all about. I'm not sure that there's anyone that wouldn't enjoy this. So it's very grounding, very earthy. If you have someone who is stressed in your life, and we all know somebody, if we're not that person ourselves, chances are, then this is a really great blend to offer as a gift for anyone in that situation. Easy as that. You've just created such a beautiful blend. Now, my recommendation, if you're newer to essential oils, is this. These roller bottles are beautiful because you will always experience them aromatically, but because we've properly diluted them with the essential oil, with the carrier oil, you can now safely apply it to your skin. So my advice would be this: roll it on your pulse points. So the wrist, the neck, on the bottoms of the feet is a really extraordinary place to use your essential oils because we have those nice big pores. They tend to always want to receive whatever they come into contact with. I know my feet are very dry, so as soon as I apply anything to them, they want to absorb it. And then that gets facilitated throughout your entire body, providing that nice grounding effect, that stress support that I think we all need. Okay, so you just mix that up and then throw a cute label on it. If you don't have labels, a sticker of some kind. Another great idea is if you're someplace like even the dollar store or Michael's craft shop, they have those chalk labels, those chalkboard labels. They're black and you can write on those. They make a really attractive sort of rustic style labeling. Excuse me. So there is DIY number one. Great thing to fill a stocking for anyone. Let's move on to something that is called the rugged body spray, shall we? Now it's calling for a 2-ounce bottle, which I did not have. And this is the beauty of doing DIYs, is that you can, just like baking or anything like that, you can cut recipes in half, you can double recipes. So I'm actually going to cut the recipe in half, but I would encourage you to consider the fact that you could double this and put it in a slightly larger bottle. Or if you wanted to make many, you can see that bottle okay. Those of you on Instagram, I know that's a little bit trickier to see. Kind of small, but again, if you're making a batch of that up, that might be the perfect size for a bunch of people to try out, right? All right, let's go ahead and get started with that one. So if I'm halving the recipe, I am looking to do 10 drops of cedar wood to start. Okay, there's quite a bit, there's a more significant number of oils in this one than the last one that we used. So I'll go ahead and get started with that. Cedar wood's one of my favorites, actually. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. So 10 drops of cedar wood. Cedar wood just has that nice, light, cozy, earthy smell to it. We'll do 7 drops of wild orange. That's a cool combination, right? Cedar wood and then wild orange. Wild orange obviously has that nice big burst of citrus. Very mood boosting. So we're going to do, what did I say, 7 of those. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any of the citrus oils I find are quick movers. They come out of the bottle super fast. So now we're at cedar wood, we're at wild orange. Now this one really struck me. The next oil that it calls for is tea tree oil, otherwise known as melaleuca. And we're gonna put 5 drops into this rugged spray. So this is super interesting for you to try at home because tea tree oil, almost all of us have had some level of experience with tea tree oil. And many people describe it right away. If you had to say one word, medicinal, like right away, I'm getting like that first aid kind of aroma. That's attached to a memory, of course. It does have a very herbaceous type of aroma to it, but we've obviously tied that to some sort of experience from our past. But that can sometimes dominate a blend's aroma. So it's interesting when you make this one, how the combination of this plus cedar wood and wild orange so far creates a beautiful, beautiful spray that men really enjoy, but not just men, right? So we'll go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one on the list is black spruce, which you probably hear me say, this one's my favorite. Ooh, I love this one a whole lot. I'm just an essential oils lover, but there are some that really stand out to me. Black spruce would be one of those. I find this to be, oh, the moment the lid comes off, it's so lovely. I often will combine this one with wild orange in my diffuser at home just for like an everyday type aroma. I find it to be very uplifting because of the citrus, But because of the grounding quality of any of the tree oils, like black spruce, like cedar wood, like juniper, I find this one gives a very balanced aroma through the entire house. Love it. Love using this. If you have it, dig it out and get using it. So 5 of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a Canadian sourced essential oil as well from the East Coast. Good thing to know. And Arbor Vitae. This is really a Canadian blend. This is our West Coast essential oil. And with Arbor Vitae, we're doing 3 drops. It's always been my personal experience that everyone loves Arbor Vitae. 1, 2, 3. I'll be honest, I didn't love it at first. I found it to be a very overpowering aroma until I worked with it a little bit and found ways that you could pair it with other essential oils. And as time went on, I had a friend who introduced this to me, coupled with bergamot, which I never ever would have considered before, but her family used it in their diffuser all the time. It was like their everyday aroma. It was like the thing that anchored the memories of their family time. And it started to grow on me from there. It kind of reminds me of being at her house. And now it's something that I really do enjoy the aroma of. And I would encourage you to consider that as well. If there's an oil that you have in your home that you haven't quite fallen in love with just yet, try it in a variety of ways. Blend it with other oils and see if you can create a combination that really works for you. Because we all know that the chemical compounds in all of these oils are so beneficial to us. So finding the right way to deliver them to us in a way that we enjoy is certainly going to have some terrific benefits for us. Now, we do need a little splash of glycerin, or I'm going to use coconut oil because it's something that I have. And it's probably something that you have as well. You're going to be using just such a small amount of this. It's 1/4 teaspoon. And the idea behind using this is that it helps when this lands on the skin, it absorbs through the skin slower and doesn't do something that we call flashing off. Flashing off is when it evaporates. Essential oils are very volatile. So when they hit the skin and they don't have a way to absorb effectively, they can flash off and therefore they dissipate. The aroma's gone before you want it to be. So adding just a little bit of a carrier oil. I'm going to eyeball this, guys. I'm going 1/4 teaspoon or whatever I think that would look like. That's it. And lastly, for this recipe is we're topping off the bottle. So depending on the size of the bottle that you're using, you're going to top it off with witch hazel. Okay, so I'm going to be very mindful here because this is quite a small bottle. I don't want to have any overflow situations. That's why I always tend to do things near the sink as well. Just in the event I can't see through these amber bottles as well as I would like to, because that has been known to happen. I've overflowed more than one bottle. Oh, I think I got that perfect. All right, now a question that I often get when I'm doing DIYs is, that is great, but where do I get all of these things like the roller bottle and the spray bottle and things of that nature? Depending on where you live, there is likely a source near you. So I'm in the London, Ontario area. So some of the places that I think to right away, Purdy Natural in London, Ontario. There's also a great place that is more of an online shopping experience called Candora Soap. That's also in London. I'd recommend logging on and taking a look at the websites of those 2 areas or those 2 places, seeing what they have, knowing what you're going to get into as far as DIY projects, and then ordering your supplies. The cool thing is they never go to waste. So for example, the recipe that I just did, it called for a much larger bottle, but because I didn't have it, and because I really wanted to show you this spray because it's beautiful, I just adjusted the recipe a little bit and used one of the tools that I had on hand. And this is something I believe I had ordered through Candora Soap, knowing that I would eventually use it for something, right? So now we've got two great stocking stuffers. Again, you'll adorn these or decorate these in a way that is suited to you and suited to the recipient. Maybe just put one of those homemade with love stickers on it. I've showed those to you the past couple of weeks because they're really cute. They're dollar store access, really easy to find. Or maybe you have something more sophisticated in mind. Maybe you can print labels yourself, or you just have a different idea in mind. But go ahead and do that, and your gift, those two gifts are complete. The last thing that I want to show you is a beard oil. And this is something that I get asked. I was really surprised when I first started being asked for this because I didn't really consider it. My husband doesn't typically wear a beard. So this has never really come up in our lives, but the more beards are trendy, right? This is the trend right now. This is the style right now. So beard oils have become a popular request. So I'm going to share a simple recipe for you, knowing that you probably have a man in your life that really appreciate this. And if you don't, I want you to pay attention to what the ingredients are calling for in this recipe, because ladies, this also makes a really great hair serum. So you can use this for yourself as well. But it is originally designed as a beard oil, okay? Keep that in mind. So we're gonna start again. The reason I have so few ingredients is because the same ingredients replicate themselves in so many different little projects. And that's the cool thing about DIYs, is the convenience, like I said before, as well as the cost savings that can be achieved by doing some of these little projects for yourself at home. So we're going to grab our, what do I need for this one? We've got our coconut oil. The essential oils we need are rosemary. So we've got our rosemary. And this is the bottle I'm using right now. I'm sure that you are using something in your bathroom right now that probably has this style of bottle. Maybe it even has a dropper with it. These are the kinds of things that can be repurposed in a really cool way. It's so easy to take if there's an existing label on it, it's a product that you've just used up. Don't think you can't use it. Don't throw it in the recycles just yet because you think that label can't come off. Don't forget that lemon essential oil rubbed on the outside of the bottle where it's all sticky and gooey and seems like the label will never come off. It eats away at that goo under the label and makes it so easy to peel off. From there, I typically run it under some hot water and help just get any of the residual off, and then wipe it off with a towel, and you're good to go. So everything in your bathroom, especially any of those glass items, can certainly be upcycled or repurposed, whatever you like to say. And I know that is an important thing for so many of us right now, is making sure that we're making good use of the tools that we already have on hand. So this was formerly a Yarrow Palm essential oil product that I absolutely love, skincare product, and now we're repurposing it for a beard oil. So I mentioned that we're going to start with rosemary, and we're going to use 5 drops of rosemary to kick off this blend. So this, rosemary oil, I better count 2, 3, 4, 5, is a phenomenal oil when you're looking to achieve like clarity and focus. It's one of my favorites for that. And yeah, it has a lot of practical uses too. It's one that you can certainly use in your kitchen, but as it relates to mental awareness, I just find that this one is just so enlightening. And like I said before, it provides so much clarity when you use it aromatically. Next, we're going to move again to our cedarwood. Cedarwood's getting a lot of action tonight. It's been in all 3 of our recipes. And I'm glad for that because it's a fan favorite. So we're going to go with 5. This one's an easy one because it's 5, 5, and 5, and then topped off with your fractionated coconut oil. So I'll count these out. And remember, cedarwood moved a little bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last but not least, we'll move to our sandalwood. Delightful, grounding sandalwood. And we're going to add 5 drops to that one as well. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy as that. We've got our essential oils complete. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to top that off with our fractionated coconut oil. Again, you might want to make sure that you're near a sink so that you can do this over the sink in case of any overflow action. Originally designed as a beard oil, but ladies, for real, we've got rosemary, cedarwood, and sandalwood in there. You know as well as I do that this is an epic hair serum as well. I just can't tell how full that is. I think I'm awfully close and I just don't want to overdo it. Yeah, I think we're right there. And just like that, we have got 3 awesome men's products or cool stocking stuffers for anybody on your holiday list. As easy as that. Plus, it's a repurposed bottle. I mean, you can't go wrong, right? Convenience, convenience, affordability, we're upcycling. I mean, it's all the way around win, win, win. So these easy peasy 3 recipes can be found. I'm going to share them on Instagram as well as Facebook. So if you weren't writing them down, if you were busy watching me count drops, sometimes it can be mesmerizing to watch what someone's doing, right? I'll share them with you. So then you can screenshot them or print them off and maybe put them into action in your own home, okay? I hope that you've enjoyed some of these DIY recipes. This might be something that I continue to do throughout the year, not weekly, but I think the majority of you have provided feedback that would suggest that you like seeing how to put your essential oils into action in these really, really basic ways, because they really are basic, right? It's just a matter of triggering the notion to put them into action in some of these ways. And that's the simplest thing. And I enjoy doing that. So I look forward to connecting with you again. Keep in mind, there's loads and loads of DIY recipes with your doTERRA oils available through doTERRA. If you went to Pinterest, you could type up DIY doTERRA recipes. You could find all kinds of them. There's some really great kitchen ones too, some practical ways that you can use your oils in the kitchen, and they're super, super easy and they're perfect. They're perfect for the holidays. One of them, just as an example, one of the ones I love, I always put into use is grabbing your wild orange essential oil and adding 1 or 2 drops, depending on your flavor preference, and adding that to a vanilla Greek yogurt. I'm telling you, I know we can't have company this Christmas really because of circumstances, but trust me, you and your family will absolutely love that as a dip with your fruit. It is absolutely wonderful. So little simple things like that, right? Really put your oils into action, right? And I wish everyone a happy, healthy holiday and look forward to seeing you all in the new year. Take good care, everyone. Merry Christmas to you all.